Never can there be peace among the different. He is your friend because you are the same. Comparison must be an ego device, for love makes none. Specialness always makes comparisons. It is established by a lack seen in another, and maintained by searching for and keeping clear insight all lacks it can perceive. I love this. Comparison is the thief of joy. I love it because, if you don't know, I have a twin sister, and we don't look exactly alike. We are fraternal twins, but a lot of the times growing up, people couldn't tell the differences between us. And I just was thinking this morning as I was reading this, how in some of our classrooms at school, we'd be in the same class, and some of our teachers would literally call us to the front, and people would be staring at our differences, right? They'd be looking at like all the freckles in our faces, like details in our teeth, obviously our body shapes. Me and my sister, we both experienced health challenges when we were in high school. So there have been points in our times where people have said to me, "Oh, you're fatter, you're heavier than your sister," or to my sister, "You have a rounder face." And people don't think anything of it when they're sitting there and they're comparing twins, because of course you compare twins. But many times in my life, like when people have been comparing us, like when somebody has told me, "You're bigger than your sister," these moments have like broke my heart. Like I remember being on a cruise after I graduated high school, and one of the waiters at the table, he said that, and I remember I was so upset. Like I went to my room and I cried. And I've had to learn, like, comparison is the thief of joy. Like, it would be, you could go stand, like, even if they weren't twins, you can go stand this person next to this person. There's going to be differences all the time. In this book, this is A Course in Miracles. If you don't know, I always read from this book here. It talks about how when you are looking at comparisons, when you're looking at differences from people, you are just perceiving lack and limitation. Because at the end of the day, like, we really are all the same. We're all spiritual creatures beyond the body. And like when we look in the mirror, like we don't see ourselves. Faith is your fortune. That's what Neville Goddard says. We don't see ourselves for who we really are. We look upon lack. And we live in limitation. We live in cortisol. We live in the high beta wave frequency. This is a high stress frequency. To perceive each other as different, you can only see from a place of lack and limitation. And that's a sad place to live in, So we're really all the same. We all go through the same struggles. Everybody, for the most part, has to come into this place where they, you learn to love yourself, you learn to love your body, and you learn to extend that love. And that's why I like this book, A Course in Miracles, because it says love is an extension. And when you don't extend it, you are choosing war and chaos within you. Because it's like, it says it's very black and white. You're either choosing, and I talk about this in terms of the biochemistry, you're either choosing heaven or hell. You're choosing your parasympathetic side of the nervous system or your sympathetic side of the nervous system. You are choosing cortisol or testosterone. You are choosing to be set back and confident in your being, in your body, calm and at peace, or I am here, I am guarded and perceiving lack in the environment. I'm perceiving attack, perceiving chaos. So yeah, we don't see ourselves for who we truly are, because if we looked at every single person, and I try to practice this because I work in a restaurant, I serve tables, I give people my love. And so I just try to practice seeing people for like the muscular system. Like I have it sitting right in front of me. I practice this person sitting in front of me. There's just a body with trillions of cells, like all this mitochondria in it. And me, I'm just going to try and, speak good things into this person. Speak love into them. Make sure that I'm calm in my own presence. That way, our immune systems, we share biochemistry with people. Every time you come into someone else's biochemical field, you share hormones with them. So if I'm in a really high stressed out state, if my respiratory rate is really high, if my inflammation is high, if I'm dehydrated, people are perceiving this is not safe here. And in their bodies, they might not even pay attention to it, but they'll go into a tense state. But when you are calm and centered and your respiratory rate is low, when the tone of your voice is nice and gentle and calm, people just melt. They just melt and they soften and they open up and they know that they're safe at like a level that is so subtle. They can't even fully understand that. And I see this in my tips. Like, again, I'm a server at a restaurant, so I see this in my tips when I am calm and relaxed and not in a hurry. My tips are better, you know? It's just like, it's like really simple, you know? And not all the time, of course, because it's hard to sometimes be calm and centered. Sometimes I find myself, like, if I get in the weeds or things are going on, I have a tightness in my hips, in my sacral region of my spine, which is where most of us tend to tighten up, in those legs and those hip regions. So again, I want to remind you, it could be simple too. It is not your waist, it is your calf muscles. Keep practicing strength training and make it simple. When we do our calf raises, when you get up and you just stand still up on your calves while you're making your coffee, even while you're on your phone, right? Take a bad habit that you have. You find yourself, after you get off work, you just found yourself scrolling through your phone. Why don't you do that while you're on your calf muscles, on your tiptoes, and you're sending this force throughout, and you're practicing communicating with your immune system. Our calf muscles are like one of the largest lymphatic organs, pumping all the blood back up to the heart. It's our second heart. And so you can practice this, and you can simplify things. Of course, we can always simplify things. Why not, you know? So anyway, you can like, share, and subscribe if you found this helpful. Comparison is the thief of joy. Take it from a twin. And like, your differences are implied. Your individuality is implied. Even if I used to think about this because my sister, we would sometimes when we lived, like when we were younger, we would have like the same t-shirts and stuff like that. And we would come out of our room and we would be wearing the same exact thing. And my sister would be like, oh my God, I gotta go change. And me, like, it never really bothered me because I always felt like, I'm different no matter what. Like, we're different no matter what, you know? And it's just your individuality is implied. So there's no reason to feel like you have to perceive differences in others just to make yourself an individual. Like, we are very similar to each other, especially when you look at the muscular system and you look at the cell. Like, we're all very, very similar. So remember to eat your amino and fatty acids. That's important for every single cell membrane in every human body. But anyway, I'm going to go now. I do love you so much. You can like, share, and subscribe. But as always, I do wish you the best of luck.